Welcome to Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow podcast. I'm your host today. My name is Cheelo. And as we say, here we use yesterday's eyes to see the future. And today, I cannot be more than excited to host one of my good friends and colleague and big brother, Greig. Good to have you.
Good to be here as well, Choma.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, yeah.
Small city, but we can't meet.
Imagine, that's how busy the world has become.
I can tell you that. I can tell you. Do you remember the first time we met?
Yeah, I do. That was back in, was it 2012?
No, it should be earlier than that. 2010, 2011.
2010, 2011.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely,
Yes.
definitely.
At University Church during Sabbath school, and
Yeah.
we were talking, and I didn't know that you knew my brother. And
Yeah.
lo and behold,
It was a small circle.
it was.
Yeah.
It was. But we are excited to have you here
Thank you.
as our guest. You have been doing a lot of things. But recently, I've noticed something, and I want to start from there. That you are now becoming a Pan-Africanist. What's happening? Are we joining politics?
Yeah. That's a good question. The way I see it is that I need to play, as an African,
Yes.
okay, who understands the problems we have in the continent and
Right.
and the problems that our people face. I need to play a role in actually, helping the continent and helping our people to understand these problems, so that then we can start having frank conversations on how we
Right.
can actually solve them.
You are spot on, Greg. I mean, just in all the spheres of our continent, the geopolitical, business, don't even talk about religion. But true, like you say, that we've got to have concerted voices that speak true to both power and ourselves.
Absolutely.
Because I think the major problem that lies at the center of the poverty we experience is failure to manage our own resources.
Absolutely.
Failure to manage, and that entirely lies on leadership.
Yeah.
Right, so let's get into it. So number one, Greg, you are doing amazing things. You are a proprietor, founder, and if I am not wrong, you're still the CEO of City Drive.
That's right.
City Drive is a car rental company. You then went on to do Budding Food, a plant-based company that supplies legumes, grain, healthy products, and purely plant-based food. You supply to the stores. And of recent, you have founded an energy company. Very interesting. Subilo. Is that correct?
That's right.
Subilo Energy, you call it.
Energy.
And it revolves around EV, which is electric vehicle, and its ecosystem. And we'll delve into that. But is it the only three companies, or there's more that I don't know?
So at the moment, those are the only three companies that we
That are
run,
out in the public.
that we run in our group. Yes, that's right.
How do you manage to do these things? Because just to run one company in Zambia, it's a headache.
I also don't know how I
But Greg, let's take it back to the beginning. What inspired your journey of entrepreneurship from the beginning?
Yeah. It's quite interesting because, many of the times you say, look, so some people would say, look, I knew that I'd become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Someday. But I think for me, that's not really my story.
Right.
Yeah. When I graduated, when I finished grade 12,
That was in Lusaka.
no.
Okay.
So in 1990, my dad got a job in Botswana.
Right.
Yeah. And the entire family
Moved.
immigrated there. So I basically spent half of my life in Botswana.
Okay.
I did my grade 1 to 12 there. And so when I finished grade 12 there, obviously I had to come here for college. And initially, I actually had to, because being a science and tech guy, my first choice was basically to do engineering.
Is it?
Yeah. In fact, at first I wanted to be a nuclear scientist, but then I actually realized that such courses do not exist at the University of Zambia.
Where in Zambia?
The Cobalt University. So I settled for civil engineering.
Okay.
So I applied for civil engineering at Cobalt Energy. My first application was turned down. Okay, at Cobalt University, I wasn't picked.
You were not picked?
No. Okay. So my sister then tells me, my elder sister then tells me, look, you've got two options. Either you wait for the next intake next year, or you go and do something else.
As you wait.
As you wait. And then obviously I didn't want to stay home.
Yeah.
For another 12 months.
Yeah.
So then the issue is that, okay, if I'm going to do something else, what was this thing going to be?
That?
Right? And she suggested accounting. Actually, no, in Lusaka there's a college called Zikas.
And at the time it was
it was very prestigious.
Yeah.
You can go and do chartered accounting. Chartered accounting, what's that?
You've never heard about
Never heard of chartered accounting. Okay. So no, it's an advanced form of accounting. And it's very marketable. You'd be sought out after. So okay, and in high school I did accounting.
Oh, you did accounting.
So I said, well, I already have
some knowledge,
knowledge of accounting, so it won't be a bad idea. So that's how I actually started accounting at Zikas in 2005.
As you wait
for
the 12 months.
For the 12 months. But as destiny would have it, I would actually eventually finish up my chartered accounting at Zikas, and I never did civil engineering.
And it was buried.
It was buried.
A dream.
The dream was buried. So in 2007, I graduated at Zikas, and I started my first job at a company called Global Logistics. Yeah. It was
as an accountant?
As an assistant accountant.
Assistant accountant.
Yeah, assistant accountant. And it would be my first and last job. Okay, because what happened whilst I was there, somehow I just started, gaining interest in entrepreneurship. Possibly because of the owner of that company. Okay, because I was hearing stories of how he started it.
He was Zambian?
No, he wasn't Zambian. He was actually, he must be Zambian, but he's a white Zambian.
Oh, it's a white Zambian.
Yeah,
okay.
White Zambian. I started hearing stories about how he started it and how he actually managed to grow it to where it was at the time where I found it. And it was quite inspiring. And, I started reading about, all these entrepreneurs, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Because you see, even when I was younger, I used to hear a lot about Bill Gates, Microsoft.
Yeah.
But now the interest was even more. So I read a lot about them. And then I just realized that, my future is not in employment. My future lies in entrepreneurship. Okay? And the time to actually go into entrepreneurship is now. Because if I don't do it now, whilst I don't have a family, and I'm still energetic, I have a hunger for risk taking.
And you were quite young.
I was quite young. I was only 25 years old.
Wow.
When I started, So I said, look, okay, fine, let's do entrepreneurship, but what is it that we're going to do? I researched a lot of businesses. I researched about the car wash, I researched about a barber shop. I researched.
You even say wanted to do baba.
How is it barber? Employ barbers and put them in one place and, run a business. And then I came across car rental. And there's a company in America specifically called Enterprise Car Rental, which I researched about.
Yeah.
And
It's quite big.
It's quite big.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I liked their model.
Yeah.
And when I did the research in Zambia, I realized that the model here, that model is not here in Zambia because most of the car rental companies, even just the industry itself, have not yet developed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, I think we can. There's more opportunities in this industry, right? And that is how I reached out to my elder brother. Look.
But did you have a car at the time?
No.
You want to start a car rental? No car.
No vehicle. Okay. The only thing I had was courage and an idea.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you reached out to your brother.
I reached out to my brother. I sold this idea to him and my other sister as well.
I'm interested to get their response. What did they say? Were they open to the idea?
They open to the idea, but at that time I didn't tell them that eventually I would quit.
That's my point. So you were not open. So you knew.
I knew.
You knew what you were doing.
I knew what I was doing.
Yeah. Because they were not going to agree.
No.
So you said, okay, while I'm doing this on the side, I want to be doing this.
Yeah.
But in your heart, you knew.
Yeah, because you see, I actually realized that eventually, for the business to grow, I would also have to invest my time.
100%.
I can't be in two places.
It can't. It can't work.
Mm-hmm. So my elder brother was generous enough to come on board, and he would help fund for the first vehicle that we would actually buy. Okay, we bought that vehicle, we registered the company, we bought the vehicle, and
one vehicle. Car rental company starts.
Car rental company, one vehicle. And what then happened is that we got a client who...
How was the feeling when you got the first client?
The feeling was good, because I then realized that I'm actually now an entrepreneur. Because you're not an entrepreneur until you get your first customer.
100%. So the client comes?
The client comes, and for some reason, the client actually has a vehicle for a couple of months. Okay? He was a lawyer, and he wanted to be moving around, and at that time he wasn't ready to buy his own car.
Okay.
So he had a vehicle. And that...
So now your one car goes.
Our one car goes. And then I'm like, okay, we need more cars.
Yeah.
But how are we gonna get more cars when I'm still here? So I turned in a resignation at my company. I'm actually resigning. I need to go and do my own thing.
And you left?
And I left. Okay.
No office.
No office. The office was actually
at your house.
At my home, at my house, in my living room. I had one laptop, one printer, one table.
And you were everything.
I was everything.
Receptionist, marketing, sales, human resource, everything.
Of course, because when you are starting off as a business, the idea is to keep your costs to the bare minimum.
I want you to really double down, because there's a young person who's listening to us and they're wondering. They see the glory, but they don't see where people start from. The idea of just being a boss and wanting to direct and delegate everything else. But you're telling me now, you started with one and you were everything.
I was everything. In fact, when it came to the marketing,
yes,
I used to go from one company to the other using buses.
Wow.
I would go around marketing the company,
dropping company
profile and flyers from one company to the other. moving around with
Talking to people.
on a bus, talking to people,
At the time, because when I met you, you were driving. You know that car? Is it a Corsa or Corsa?
a blue one.
Was it blue?
Yeah.
A small one.
Yes, a sky blue one.
Yes.
Yeah. So that would actually become our second car.
Really?
Yes, that would become our second vehicle. So then what happens when we get started is that of course the first car is out, and now the issue is that okay, we need to get more customers, we need to get more cars. All right. So the idea for the more cars was that okay, how can we actually so the first car, some of the profits that we're actually getting from the first vehicle, we use them to top up from what we got from elsewhere, small loans, and we got
to buy another one.
We got another one.
Okay.
Okay. And then we were also went into partnership with other people as well who had cars, were interested to to make some money on their cars.
Right. I remember you were even doing that portal freelancing. If I have a car, I can bring it to you, and then you can rent it out, and that was a brilliant model.
Yeah.
And from there, you never looked back.
We never looked back because then we just grew from there.
Yes.
We just continued adding vehicles, increasing our fleet.
And you had a fleet of them.
We had a fleet of them, and we also diversified our product
range,
right? Because what I discovered in the current market in Zambia was that most companies were selling a generic product. It's just car rental.
Yeah.
Right. But then when we came in, we actually realized that we have different users and customers with different needs. Okay, so you can't sell a generic product.
Yes.
Okay, you need to.
People hire cars for different reasons.
Exactly, right? People hire cars for different reasons. For example, there are people who would want to hire a vehicle for a few days.
Yes.
Others would want to hire a vehicle for a month.
Time. Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Others, like insurance companies, would want to hire vehicles.
And telecommunication companies.
Yes. They'd want to hire vehicles for their policyholders. So if you're involved in an accident, they would hire a vehicle for you as you wait for your car to come out from the garage. So we actually had to map all that out and, tailor-make specific products and specific messages to specific customer segments. And we grew over time. We opened up branches outside Lusaka. The first branch we opened up outside Lusaka in 2017 was we opened it up in Solwezi. Yeah. And then we opened up in Kitwe. Then later on we opened up in Livingston.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. I mean, the story of City Drive was one I was close to, because obviously I was close with you, but even just watching from how you moved was amazing. A question on that, what lesson did you learn about capital, risk, and business in general? I want you to just briefly talk about that. Capital, risk, and business in general, because from far away, business is like your friend's child. They're only good when you are with them, and then you lift the child. Hey, hi. The child goes. The child is expensive. You have to take care of them.
Exactly.
And from onset, from outside, you can see that somebody's doing well. But you don't know what they're actually going through. So what did you learn, especially about capital and risk here in this part of the world?
Yeah. One of the things I actually realized later on, when I looked back and the dots connected, is that me doing accounting was actually providential.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, because what then happened was that the accounting knowledge I learned has been very instrumental and very key in helping me manage the companies financially. Okay, being able to, read and understand numbers.
Right.
Okay.
Because business is about numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Because you see, a business would tell you a story. And the story that the business tells you is found in its financial statements. But then for you to be able to understand that story, you need to be able to understand the numbers and what they're telling you.
Numbers.
Right? And if you've got an accounting background, you have a very strong advantage.
Yeah.
Because you know what the gross profit margin is.
Yes, the net profit.
The net profit, you'll be able to understand the liquidity ratio, the gearing, the leverage, all those things. Because you need to be able to understand all those things so that then you're able to, know where you are, where you're coming from, and where you need to go, and what control measures you need to put in place to improve the numbers. So accounting has been very key in actually helping me manage the companies efficiently. Now, coming to the issue of capital, one of the biggest problems that small businesses face in Africa is access to capital, and not only capital, but access to affordable capital. Right? The cost of capital in Zambia ranges from 30% upwards.
35.
Yeah, 35%.
Yeah.
Okay? That is astronomically high.
Suicide for instance.
It's a suicide, right? It's suicide. So the cost of capital itself is very high, and there's
no appetite for startups.
And it's also not easy to access it, because
Exactly.
most of the time, those who want to give out capital want collateral.
And you don't have
Either you have a vehicle or landed property.
But how do you put out your very own
Exactly.
vehicle?
So you find that capital becomes a very big problem.
Right.
Most startups simply do not have the means to access capital. And most either will just not even start at all, or they'll simply fail along the way, right? So access to capital still remains a challenge. For us, what we did was to bootstrap the company as much as possible. So we were basically reinvesting. The profits we were making from the first car, okay, we were basically reinvesting it, okay? And we were also fortunate enough, let me mention this. We were also fortunate enough because the owner of Kula Capital, yeah, Tu Anderson, I just met him, I think I met him in 2011, okay? Before even Kula Capital was this big company that it is. I met him and I saw the idea of, what we were trying to do.
Those are venture capitalists, right?
Yeah. And then he said, look, our firm is not able to help you. However, let me talk to my sister. Yeah, maybe she can give you, something at favorable rates. So he then spoke to the sister, and the sister was quite, generous enough. She gave us about $5,000 loan.
That was a lot of money.
Yeah, loan at a very favorable rate.
Really?
Yeah. And that also helped us too.
She was overseas, or she was within?
She was overseas, but the brother was here.
Through him?
Yeah, through him. Yeah. And that actually helped us too, because we got that money, we invested it, we got more cars, and
started just moving.
Yeah, started moving.
So that's the risk, and I want to talk about that risk, because in business, we a lot of people want comfort. Because waking up and going for a day's job, month end, do a report, get paid, go home, could have its own pressure, but you cannot compare that pressure with running your own business.
No.
The risk of getting somebody's money and hoping that you will pay back is something that takes courage.
Yeah.
Where did you get the courage?
Yeah.
Did you just believe that it's going to work out?
Yeah. You know, they say that starting a business is 10% capital and 90% courage. Guts. And nothing could be further from the truth. That is very, very true, right? Because you see, the biggest challenge in starting a business is to get started.
Is actually to get started.
To get started, okay? And for me, I discovered that how you get started doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No. So long as you have started.
Wow.
We started with one vehicle. Others would have said, we need a fleet of cars first.
That's when we would start.
That's when we start, the current company.
But so what's your view, Greg, just while we're here, what's your view on what are you getting? What is more important to a business person? Is it capital? Is it idea?
Okay, here's the thing. To start a business, you need more guts than capital.
So first, forget about capital.
Forget about the capital. I mean, you might have a bit of capital, but you don't need a lot of capital to start the business.
Exactly.
So the idea is start where you are with what you have.
With what you have.
Exactly. Okay, and run with it. Okay, grow from there. Right. So you need to be more courageous first.
More courageous.
In the beginning, you need more courage, because it's not everyone who gets started business. The reason is that it's not everyone who's courageous.
The opposite of courage is what? Cowardice.
Cowardice. So what I mean. So for me, I everyone who's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Hats off.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs are one of the most courageous people you find on earth. Okay. So in the beginning, you need courage to take that first step and start. However, as the business grows, okay, you'll eventually reach a point whereby you need capital to grow it and scale it.
Right. So capital comes at the growth stage.
Afterwards.
You have to grow and scale. But starting does not need capital.
No.
So those who sit and say, until I get $1 million or I get 100,000 kwacha, that's when I can start my business. I've got brilliant ideas, but I don't have money. What do you say? Just start.
I say to them, start with what you have, with where you are.
Right.
Yeah. If you're going to wait to get that $1 million or $1 million kwacha in your bank, chances that it will never come, or at the point where it will be coming, you may actually have even lost interest. Okay?
Yes.
In entrepreneurship, and you want to do other things, right? So the idea is start with where you are, with what you have, and just run with it.
Yeah. Excellent. You went on to do, apart from the car rental, you went on to do a food business. You went on to do the energy business, like we said. My question to you is, what has been the most financially demanding business to scale? And how did you overcome that challenge? And I know it may be going on, but from where you sit now, having learned the lessons you've learned, and you being a serial entrepreneur, which one is more demanding? Because businesses are different. They're like children.
Let me start by giving an example of how we scaled City Drive.
Right.
All right. So, obviously, we've never actually gotten any venture capital into City Drive.
Really?
No. City Drive so far has been built through
equity partners?
Not equity partners.
Really?
Yeah, we don't have any venture capital in the company.
Apart from maybe your sister and your brothers when you're registering.
When you're registering, exactly. Okay.
Wow.
There was a time that we almost got it, but then I think the terms we couldn't actually agree on the terms.
Agree on the terms.
So what then? So we've scaled City Drive through a reinvesting of profits. 1, loan capital. 2.
So when you say loan capital, is it from the bank or just other financial?
Mostly from the bank.
Okay.
Mostly from that. Obviously, because the rates are lower.
Yeah.
A bit more manageable. I mean, why should we go to
Shark.
even most of these microfilms
Yeah.
rates which are extremely high.
Exploit.
Yeah. We're talking about 60%, 65%. That's too much.
Exploitative.
So we've mostly dealt with the banks.
Banks.
Yeah. And then we've also used partnerships.
Leveraging partnerships.
Leveraging partnerships. Okay. So we scaled City Drive within Zambia. We opened up branches in Lusaka, Kitwe, Solwezi, and
Livingston.
And then later on, we then went outside the borders of Zambia.
Oh, you did?
Yes. And what happened was that when Yango came to Zambia, one of the things we did was to get a Yango franchise. Okay, in Zambia. So in Zambia, we actually do a Yango franchise.
Oh.
Yeah. So because the model of Yango is that they don't manage the drivers directly.
Yeah.
They manage drivers
Yes.
through transport companies like ourselves.
Right.
And then of course we get a commission.
And by the way, the incoming of Yango, did it disturb you? Your business?
Yes and no. Yes, because now taxi is dead cheap.
Yeah.
So people who not only dead cheap but also extremely available.
Everywhere.
So people who would have wanted to hire a vehicle
Just use a Yango.
could just use a Yango. But I can actually use a Yango from point A to B.
Yeah.
I can request it. The ETA, the estimated time of arrival is 5 minutes.
Yes.
Right? So I can just request a Yango to pick me up from there, then to take me to the next.
And again, I will do the same.
And I'll do the same. So it has impacted us from that sense.
way.
But on the flip side, because we also have a Yango franchise, we've also benefited.
Makes sense.
So when we got the Yango franchise here, Yango was also expanding in other African countries.
Yes.
And we saw an opportunity as well. So we went and got a franchise also in Mozambique, in Namibia, and in Congo. So we've got operations in Mozambique, we've got operations in Namibia, and we've got operations in Kinshasa, DR Congo. But in those other 3 countries, we only do Yango as a franchise.
Only Yango, not car renting out.
Not car rental yet. But the idea was to use the franchise as an interim wage.
To then,
okay. to then introduce car rental afterwards.
So what happened? Are you still studying the market?
So we're still studying the market because right now we're still just doing Yango, but the plan is to introduce car rental eventually. So that is basically how we actually scaled City Drive.
And you scaled to a point where the fleet had how many vehicles?
So we scaled to a point whereby at our peak we had about 40 cars. Yeah, 40 vehicles.
From one?
From one, yeah.
To 40. And I remember one time you even came out of the newspaper.
Yeah, I came out of the newspaper. I mean,
as one of the best rental companies?
Yeah, one of the best current companies. Of course, the idea was also to push marketing and increase our visibility as well. Yeah.
Excellent, Greg. So we were talking about now how you scaled and then how did you now branch into other businesses. But before we get there, of interest, when Yango came, there was another business that went down. They were impacted so heavily. And I think Ulendo was impacted so badly. And as Zambians, we have to study some of these things to appreciate how an external company can come and how do we respond. From where you sit, how did you read that movement, Yango versus Ulendo, and how Ulendo received that competition?
Yeah. To be honest, the Yango Ulendo debacle was a David Goliath issue. Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate that eventually Ulendo couldn't stand.
Yeah.
But then they were up against very, very difficult situation. Um, uh, Yango is a multinational company.
It is.
They came in with a budget of millions of dollars.
7 kwacha, one ride.
Yeah.
7 kwacha.
Exactly. And for them, the whole idea was that, okay, we can possibly lose money in the short term, but the idea is that to gain in the long run. So they made sure that they not only attracted a lot of drivers by giving them huge bonuses, because drivers in the early days were not only earning money from the rides,
but also from the company itself.
But no, from the bonuses. Yeah.
Oh, the bonuses.
Exactly. So what would happen?
Which were coming from?
Which are coming from Yango. So depending on how many rides you've completed in a week, right?
They give you on top of what you have already.
So drivers were making so much money. It was
a no-brainer to just move into.
So most of them moved to Yango. Okay.
Yeah.
And also the customers also followed, because the customer will follow where the drivers are.
Exactly.
Right. So that became a very big challenge for Orlando. And then also the other challenge Orlando also had was the fact that they didn't really have much control over their app, because they were actually renting it. Okay, I don't know how true this. I could be wrong.
Right.
But the information I have is that they were renting the app. It wasn't really theirs. So of course, when the technology is not yours, you don't have much control over its use, over its direction also. So and also obviously liquidity. So all those things actually played a very big role in their eventual demise. So I mean it was unfortunate. I don't know what they could have done differently to have changed the situation. Some claim that maybe they could have just partnered with Yango and bought a franchise. Got a franchise from Yango. But at times entrepreneurs, we've got egos to deal with. So yeah, look, they could have done other things that would have saved the day, but I guess it's what it is.
It is what it is. Great. So you moved on to do. You launched the food business, and then you also did an energy business.
Mm-hmm.
How is that going, and what propelled that idea of two different businesses, food and energy?
Yeah, so there's actually a story behind every of those two businesses, okay. Right? Just quickly, for Budding Foods, the foods business, in 2013 I became a vegetarian. Right. And what then happened was that I basically changed my diet. And then there was this need for me to have somewhere where I could constantly be getting these foods for this diet that I had actually changed into. But then there were a number of places, but I realized later on that they were not enough. Okay, and then also I realized that to change to this diet, you need to have information about how to prepare the foods, knowledge, because the last thing you want to be the last thing you want is to be malnourished.
Malnourished and deficient.
So I then realized that even other people who were making a similar switch were facing similar problems. Okay, so the setting up of Budding Foods was effectively to provide a solution to these two problems. Okay, so that is how we basically started. Okay, we manufacture and produce and package plant-based foods, and the idea is to give people a reliable source of these foods for whether you're a vegetarian, you're a vegan, or you want to incorporate more of plant-based foods in your diet. That is basically what to do. And then also just impacting knowledge, right? When you go to our site, we've got articles there. We also got recipes, okay, on how to prepare some of these foods. The whole idea is that we want to give you that knowledge and that information, to actually help you in that journey. So that's Budding Foods. And then the energy company, The energy company, basically, the idea started in 2014, but it only manifested and became a reality in 2022.
2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 8
It
years.
was just, yeah, it was just an
still
idea.
just-
And it became a reality in 2022 because eventually what then happened was that EVs came onto the scene. Okay? And we said, this is
the time.
This is the time. Okay, this is the time because, as you may know, EVs are one of the things that will actually fuel the fourth industrial revolution.
Right.
So there's AI, there's IoT, there's EVs. So for us, we saw EVs as a perfect, thing for us to go into and actualize the energy business that we had all along. So yeah, that's how basically the two other companies were set up. And of course, you asked about
which one of them is the most
the one which has been the most difficult so far has been the energy company because it's capital intensive.
I know, and I wanted to ask you about that. Like it looks like it's a capital intensive.
Capital intensive. So right now we're still bootstrapping it. Okay. All the businesses, even the second one, Budding Foods, we've actually bootstrapped it. Okay. So basically, City Drive, financed Budding Foods.
Yeah. But then it takes its own life.
And then yeah, it needs to take its own life. And then also City Drive helped to also finance Cheelo Energy. Cheelo Energy, it's still a startup, effectively. We're still bootstrapping it, but eventually the idea is to, because of its capital intensiveness, we need external capital to actually scale.
Are you more open for equity partnership with the energy company?
For Cheelo Energy, we are quite open because that's the only way we're going to scale it. So if you're listening out there and you'd like to partner with us as an equity partner,
please when you get this deal, don't forget yesterday, today, and today's podcast.
Absolutely.
Because we've got you the contact. Let's talk about this thing before we close, which is that we were discussing off camera about the sorry side of Africa, to be honest, that we are sitting on the most precious and abundant resource, yet our people and the continent is extremely poor. What is the biggest constraint holding back innovation and just decent life in Africa? What is the most constraint, in your view, that is holding us back to thrive?
It's the mindset.
Mindset.
In my view, that's the number one thing, right? I just finished reading about
Taiwan.
No, Mao Zedong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Of course, Mao did a lot of bad things, because that's a story that is projected, especially from the West. Yeah. He did a lot of bad things to the Chinese people. But one of the things that Mao did, which I also believe is part of the reason why China is what it is today, is that he succeeded in changing the mindsets of the Chinese.
Because China, not so long, was not very good in terms of thriving.
No.
They were poor.
Very poor. 60, 50 years ago, the Chinese were peasant farmers.
Yes.
Okay. How have peasant farmers moved from
biggest
an agricultural economy to a high-tech economy where they make anything and everything? Mindset. Okay. An average African has an inferiority complex.
Just explain that to our viewers. What is inferiority complex?
Yeah. So an inferiority complex is basically a low self-esteem.
Feeling that you're not enough.
Feeling that you're not enough and you're not capable of doing anything.
Right.
Okay. That's an inferiority complex.
Complex.
Africans across the continent, we suffer from that. You get the point? Okay. Some blame, the colonization, the slavery. There are a lot of factors.
Yeah.
But the point is, inferiority complex, we suffer from it. Why is it that, by and large, an African would only believe that some things can only be done by other people
By
who don't
especially
look like
white people.
You get the point? Huh?
Yes.
Okay? So in other words, there are certain things that me I cannot do. They can only be done by a white man or a Chinese or an Indian.
As long as they are different from
Exactly.
this skin
As long
color.
as they're different from this skin color, they can do it. In other words, a black man is too inferior to be able to do those things. You get the point? Huh? And that's part of the reason why we're in this situation. And it's basically here, right?
The mindset.
The mindset. And for us, therefore, to be able to come out of that, we need to change the mindset of our people. Okay? We need to change the mindset of our people. And then also the other issue is leadership as well. Because you see, ultimately, if leaders are coming from ourselves, who have got a challenge with our psyche, okay? Ultimately, those leaders will not be able to implement the change that we actually need.
Because you just recycle the same.
Yeah. Okay? So you need to change the mindset of the population as a whole.
Because that's where the leaders are coming from.
That's where the leaders are coming from.
Right.
Get the point? Otherwise, the same leaders are coming from the same population, which is challenged.
Result.
Which is challenged, okay, psychologically.
Yes.
You end up getting the same results over and over and over again.
So the whole continent, we need
a radical.
We need a therapy.
We need therapy.
But let's talk about religion. You're a Christian.
Yeah.
You're an Adventist. Why is it important for believers to run businesses, and not only business, successful businesses? Because there is also a perception that we must be humble and poor for us to really connect with God. Churches are full right now as I'm speaking to you, but we seem not to get any further than 2 steps. So what is the connection? Have we missed what faith should mean to us, or we're recycling religiosity?
Look, there's nothing spiritual about being poor.
Nothing spiritual.
No.
But the Bible says, blessed are the poor, for theirs is the kingdom.
Blessed are the poor in what sense?
Right? So the context.
The context. Okay? Do you honestly believe and think that God, who is in heaven,
is a poor God?
Is a poor God.
Never.
And he will be pleased to see his people wallowing in poverty. I don't think so.
No.
Right? So, for me, I believe that it's the way we've gotten to understand these things. Okay? And how they are presented to us.
I think the latter part you've said, how it has been presented to our people.
Exactly. You see? And look, let's be frank.
Real and frank.
Religion has done some good damage to our continent.
Very.
Okay? In the sense that it has actually, made our people to just accept the social economic reality of them. No, it's okay. It's okay to be poor because then we'll gain more favor from God and we'll have more chances of getting to heaven.
The poor you are, the bigger chances you have.
Yeah. And yet what they're forgetting is that the next guy who probably doesn't even believe in God, him is prospering. Right? He's wealthy, he's well-to-do, he's having enough meals in a day. Okay? Them, They are in poverty, and yet they believe in the God of heaven. How do you reconcile the two?
No, you can't.
You can't.
No, you can't. I was listening to an interview by Elon, and he was being asked whether he prays or not, and he said, no. I don't pray. I don't go to church. That's the richest guy in the world. He doesn't pray. He doesn't go to church. Are the resources a preserve for heathens?
No, because the Bible tells us that time and chance is given to them all.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
In Matthew chapter 5, God allows the rain and the sun to shine and fall on both the righteous and the
wicked.
righteous.
Yeah.
Look at the story of the talents.
Talents.
Everyone was given talents.
Yes.
But everyone decided to do what they wanted to do with the talents.
With the talents.
Okay? So it's not necessarily about believing, because what God did simply is that He made the principles of wealth creation universal. Yeah.
It's like laws.
Yeah.
The law of
It's a
gravity
law.
is everywhere.
It's everywhere. So it's about then how you apply them. Okay?
Right.
And when you apply them right, whether you believe in God or you don't, because they're universal, you still be able to prosper financially.
That's why heathens and people who don't believe in God can still prosper in business.
Exactly. But then those who are religious want to increase their prayers first, so that they can gain financial favor from God.
So
the more you pray, the more God will hear you and have mercy on you, and somehow, somewhere, there'll be a breakthrough financially in your life.
Doesn't happen.
No.
So you've got to then align yourself with the business laws.
Yes.
For you to succeed.
For you to succeed.
So whether prayer or not, there's got to be work put in.
Exactly. Okay? Faith without works is dead. Okay? How do you claim to believe in God and pray to God, and yet you are lazy in putting in the work to run a business, to put in the work to free yourself from poverty? Okay? God will not come and feed you in your family. He won't bring a bag of mealie meal to you. It's not coming. No. You have to work for it. You have to work for it, because He has already created the principles, the laws of wealth creation. Yes. You need to make use of them. Yeah. And create wealth. As an Adventist, there's certain things that you have to observe, because on Saturday you're at church. What happened to your businesses? Don't they, you close them? Obviously, Subilo Energy, closes. We don't operate on Sabbath. Budding Foods, we don't operate on the Sabbath. City Drive, because of the cost center that we have for the drivers, the cost centers operate 24 hours. Oh, right. 7, because we need to attend to drivers if should they have a problem, accidents, they can actually call to the call center, and we're able to attend to them. So business and gospel need to go hand in hand. Just like Paul. Paul was a tent maker, so he used to do business. For him to sponsor gospel, spreading of the gospel. Yes. Do you share the idea that we must invest in the gospel? Absolutely. Because you can't, you need to finance your own activities. You need to finance. Nobody is coming to steal. No one is going to come and finance. Noah was not given dollars to finance his... Yeah. How do you expect unbelievers and heathens to come and finance your work as a gospel work? Why should they even do that? I mean, they don't believe in what you believe. So why should they advance your cause? Right? Yeah. So it's therefore our responsibility as believers to be financially stable and very wealthy as well. And very wealthy. Just like the Bible, the story of the Bible tells us. Exactly. Very wealthy. So that Abrahams of the days. So that we can finance God's work. Because no one else will do it for us. In fact, it will also be just embarrassing to God. It is. Yeah. You, my children. I've given you And yet you can't even finance you can't finance my work. You want, other people who don't even know me, some who even curse me, to come and finance the work. So we need, it's very important that as believers, we establish businesses, successful businesses, sustainable businesses, and, create wealth and financial prosperity, not only for ourselves, but also to be able to advance the work of God.
Greig, it's been a pleasure. As we close, what opportunities are you seeing across the continent in the next 5-10 years?
Opportunities I'm seeing across the continent,
where should people be looking at to invest and to start up businesses? Farming?
One, because obviously Africa has got...
But I forgot, you're also a farmer.
Trying.
Okay, number one, farming.
Farming, because Africa is a young population,
right,
and the population is growing, so there'll be a lot of mouths to feed.
Right.
So we need a lot of food.
Number two?
Number two, energy.
Energy.
Yeah.
Number three?
Number three, technology. EVs, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence.
Right.
Because that's what will power the future.
That's what will power the future. Yeah. Three last advice. You face the camera to a young person who's coming up, a believer, and they want to start a business. What are the three things you are giving them that they need to start doing, that they need to start investing in, and that they just need for them to start or propel in their business?
Number one, obviously, is courage.
Courage.
Yeah, have the courage to start your business, to get started. Don't wait to have $1 million, $1 million kwacha in your account. Start with what you have, where you are.
Where you are.
The question I have for you is that what is in your hands? Okay? Start with what is in your hands and run with it. So courage, number one. Number two, be extremely disciplined.
Disciplined in what?
Disciplined in everything. Disciplined in your time. Disciplined in your time. Disciplined in women. Disciplined in
alcohol abuse, drug abuse.
Drug abuse. Disciplined in your finances.
Finances.
Yeah. Because ultimately, someone who's self-disciplined and has self-control is unstoppable. Yeah. Okay? And then thirdly, be consistent.
Consistency.
Consistency. Okay?
Show up.
Show up. One of the problems we have in Africa is that when we start a business today, tomorrow we want to start another one. Before the first one has even, taken root. Okay? Or we want to perhaps just close the first one when the going gets tough.
And then look out for any happening and jump onto the bandwagon.
So the idea is that you start from where you are and run with that business, be consistent, okay, and grow it. Once it is stable, then you can venture out into these other things. We started with City Drive in 2009, right? We only set up the other two. About 12 years later.
12 years later.
And that was after we had actually grown City Drive and stabilized it. And that's when now we started venturing into other things.
Greig, it's been a pleasure.
My pleasure too.
Is there anything that you hope that we'll talk about and we didn't talk about?
Anything that we haven't talked about? Yeah, I think, just to also just the issue of just encouraging my fellow Africans out there.
Right.
That trust me, we are in deep trouble as people, as a continent, and no one is coming to save us. Only ourselves will save ourselves. So my encouragement to everyone out there is just wherever you are, try and play a role, okay, in making a difference.
Great.
Okay, if you be the change you want to see in Africa.
Right.
Okay, if you can't be that change, at least try to spark the minds. Okay, try to spark the minds that will eventually bring about the change.
Great.
That we need for our continent to prosper and for our people to prosper as well.
100%. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing episode with Gregory Chama, proprietor of City Drive, Subilo Energy, and Budding Food. You can check out those on the socials. I've been your host. My name is Cheelo. Until we meet again, God bless. Shalom.